Welcome back, everybody. My name is Grace, or Gibby, and I'm here with a quest guide today, specifically of the War Between Shadows saga. Now, this quest guide is going to go through all of the quests, any particularly difficult monsters that are bosses of these quests, and how you can beat them, and also what items are in the quest rewards for each section. So if you're looking for a specific build, you can listen through and see what might fit your build. Or if you're having trouble with a certain quest, you can hear about how I beat the boss, or you can watch me beat the boss at the timestamps in the video. Along with this video, there is also a Google Doc linked in the description, which has the notable monsters and the item rewards listed out in written form for each quest, with info subs linked to the item titles where available. So, if that's helpful to you, feel free to go look at that. If you like the visual and audio format better, then keep on watching the video. So the first quest is the prelude, the Wyrd West. There are no particularly difficult fights in this one, and there are 4 item rewards. Now the Protector Rods, the Evolved Protector Shields, the Evolved Protean, and the Evolved Protector armor, they all come in 4 elements, so there are 4 separate items each: water, earth, energy, and light. The Protector Rods have a magic wand form, a melee sword form, and both of those just do normal damage with their MC, a melee dagger that does half damage but inflicts a bleed, and a ranged spear that has auto hit at a 0.8 damage penalty. This is technically our best auto hit weapon. It beats out the Burden of Insight by like 2 or 3% damage. These cost tokens, however. The Evolved Protector Shields cost gold, and they are simple, balanced melee ranged magic defensive shields, and they provide 4.5 blocking towards the damage type you've most recently been hit with. So if a monster attacks with magic, you'll get 4.5 extra blocking. The bonus is tripled with the full set, but it's currently unknown whether the full set is just the weapon or just the armor, or both, because the info subs are very undetailed. If you happen to know, tell me down in the comments, and I'll pin a comment. The Evolved Protean pet is also gold cost, and each of the 4 pets have a damage toggle and an Elevuln toggle, and do up to 36% Elevuln for their element. The bonus is slightly higher, to 43% if you have the full set, and again, we don't know what the full set is. The Evolved Protector armor are tokens, and they have the ability to, at the beginning of each battle, you pick between 2 leans, FD, neutral, and FO. You pick 2 of the 3, and then you have the choice to switch between those leans whenever you like. As well, if you block all hits, you gain up to 33% damage increase on your next turn. Now, if you block half the hits, you get 16%, etc. There are also the silver and gold protector faces for male and female characters, and they're 500 tokens each. Encroaching Hunger is the next quest in the War Between Shadows saga. The notable monster of this quest is the Shadow Scavenger, which is the boss, and it has a low damage cap, but it does void damage, and also has low resistances, and 0 harm resistance, and boss boost. Otherwise, it doesn't do anything too special. I was able to beat it just by playing defensively and using barriers from the Necromancer armor. The item reward is Terminus Twin Maul, which is a gold melee 0 proc earth hammer that has a normal damage mode and 2 toggles. One toggle gives a 45% chance to paralyze. It's currently bugged to be a 100% chance, so it's huge value because it's a very cheap toggle relatively. And the other toggle gives 22.5% damage toward monsters with boss boost or with freedom. Both cost less than 70 SP and give some MRM penalties to help make them cheaper. MRM penalties to the player, to be clear. Once Upon a Scheme is the third quest in the saga, and the notable monster is the E-Series Tempest Droid. It's an energy boss with a relatively low damage cap, but not too low, and it has 2 damage phases. After his first phase, roughly 1/3 of his HP down, he gains permanent celerity. After his second phase, roughly 2/3 of his HP down, he gets a mana shield and prepares to do an ice attack, and you'll know when he switches from energy to ice by the chat pop-ups, so just pay attention to those, and if you miss them, open up the battle log. After the ice attack, he goes back to energy. I have a video guide on this boss if you're interested. The video guide is linked in the Google Doc. There are 2 rewards for this quest. The E-Series Cryojet is an ice gold cost, ice 100 proc ranged gun, and it has a toggle that deals some ice damage to the player, and you get to deal 20% bonus damage to the monster to compensate. Compared to other blood weapons like blood blades, this weapon does about 3 times as much damage to the player, just because the numbers are incorrectly valued. So do keep that in mind if you're going to use it. You'll be taking a lot more damage than most other weapons. The H-Series Tempest Power Armor is a gold cost, fully offensive energy armor with a 4-hit ranged weapon-based skill which is locked to ranged, and an Ellie-locked energy attack locked to melee. The Ellie-locked attack also pays 100% melee, which is 392 SP at level 150, for celerity if you don't have it already. It makes it an extremely potent warrior armor, as you do about 3 to 4 times what a normal attack deals if you attack with it twice. Because the Ellie-locked attacks get Ellie comp to damage, so they do huge numbers. The celerity also triggers for rangers who use bow attacks in the armor as long as the toggle is active, and as well, it triggers for rangers using the weapon-based skill. So it's a very potent armor for both rangers and warriors. Shadowfall I is the 4th quest in the War Between Shadows saga, and the notable monster of this quest is the Claw of Tiamoth, which is the final boss of the quest. It has about 12k HP and a 300 HP damage cap with a 0.25 clawback, so it's very resistant to nuking. It also has boss boost, but no freedom. What it does is it slowly inflicts a permanent stacking fragile and a very weak daze as long as you're in a darkness armor. It has low resistances, with its highest being 70 to light. Sitting in a dark armor and shield will keep you very well defended, but you will have to be careful and make sure you manage your resources to slowly whittle down the boss. There are 2 item rewards. There's the Scorn Shard of Tiamoth, which is gold cost. Unfortunately, there's no info subs, but the information on the weapon is that it's an energy darkness toggle 0 proc ranged spear. and it pays a little bit of HP to have a 17% chance to inflict a fear based off of your accuracy. The save for the fear is Dex versus Charisma. The Ancestral Forbidden spell is a gold cost water spell, which pays an extra 30% melee and HP to have stronger statuses. The spell is special in that it does 0 damage, and instead spends half its damage on a choke and half its damage on a water burn. The choke is based on water resistance and is base at 21%, but it lasts 8 turns. Same with the water burn. Both have a 50-50 save, which is intellect versus intellect. There's also an Erebus face for both male and female characters, and there are several titles if you participated in the war. Land of Returning Evil is the 5th quest in the saga. There are no significantly difficult monsters, in my opinion, and the item rewards are simply the Call and Summon Prototype Hunter Drone spell. It's gold cost and it doesn't have info subs, unfortunately, but we do know that it has both SP and MP varieties, and it makes a guest which can attack with energy or harm on toggle, and it deals 50% bonus damage in both versions, and the way it pays for that is with an extra large resource cost. So it's a best in slot for Beastmasters, not only for energy, not only for harm, but also for compression. Shadowfall II is I think the sixth quest in the whole saga, or maybe the fifth. Either way, it's the second to last quest. And there are no notable monsters, in my opinion. The boss is pretty easy because it can be nuked very effectively. It does have a random element SP attack, but when I killed it before the SP attack even went off by several turns, so you should be okay. You could also use Paladin or Retro Golden to nullify the random element SP attack. There are 2 items rewards. There's the Titan's Mournblade, which is a gold melee 0 proc dark sword. For each hit it hits on your turn, it gives 3.1% darkness Ellium power on your next turn. So using something like Basket Breath will give you more darkness Ellium power compared to a 1 hit armor attack. Titan's Fall is a gold fire shield. Its effect is that it increases the damage you take, but does significant harm damage to the foe if you block their hits, and it's based on how many hits the foe attacks with. So a Gog will take more damage than, say, a Troll that does a 1-hit attack. It also has an SP toggle that increases the damage dealt. This is a staple for all Dodge Slash builds, and it's extremely strong. There's also several titles available if you participated in the war. The last part of the War Between Shadows saga is the I Name You Deceit quest. The Shadow Scythe Virophage is an extremely difficult boss with 4 phases, 4 different fights. Each one is a different phase, and there's 2 monsters in between each. There's a challenge version and a normal version. The challenge version unlocks a special title. And I have a video guide beating the normal version with very budget gear. The challenge mode is identical, but just slightly higher stats and numbers. The effects are all the same. The Shadowfall raiment is the reward for the quest. It's a gold, fully offensive dark armor, and it has a skill that increases your defenses and decreases enemy accuracy by 12 each. So it's very strong for dodge. It's on par with the ghost costume just from that. It also has a skill that is dark and melee locked, and it can charge for multiple turns to deal extra damage. It's an exceptional, permanently available dodge armor, and it also has a pretty solid dark nuke, although I wouldn't get it just for that, since it takes time to charge up to be very strong. Overall, this saga I think is great. If you care about the lore, and I sort of did, but not enough to read up on it, it's all about Erebus and the mysterious stranger and banishing them to another plane. I won't spoil all the quests, but I did like the way it ended. I liked the build-up. I was definitely missing some context because this quest takes a lot from I believe, the Chessmaster Saga and the Hall of Memories. So you need to have a lot of lore knowledge to understand everything, but I still enjoyed it without all that. As for the items and the gameplay, there are lots of well-designed bosses, and a lot of the item rewards are best in slot, like just taking a look. Shadowfall Raiment, niche best in slot. Titan's Fall, easy best in slot. Prototype Hunter Drone, easy. Ancestral Forbiddance, easy. H-Series, huge best in slot. Twin Maul, huge best in slot. Some of the Protean pets, huge best in slot for Elivone. It's just so many great items in this quest. So like, I want to just say 9 out of 10 Saga. You'd have to do something amazing to do better than this. Very much enjoyed the questing and making the video, and I hope that this resource is helpful to you. So hope you have a great day, and spread some peace and love to those around you, and take good care of yourself. Bye-bye, everybody. See you in the next one.